All right, we got a later night stream. How's everybody doing tonight? I tried scheduling this for Rumble as well, but their thing kept spinning and I couldn't get a stream key. So, if you guys want to, if people are watching or subbing to us on there, you have to wait for the replay. So, I see Eli is in the chat here. Watch it be fixed in like 2 seconds. I don't know. So I did find a bunch of small stuff, and I'm gonna highlight what that was. And I figured I'd do a stream. So I got all the box, came here in one piece, so the original packaging kept it safe. I haven't updated the firmware yet. I was gonna put the latest firmware on here, just a fresh build, and speed up the probing speed a little bit because typically the stock probe on this can handle the faster speeds. So I got a test file on here. I got a benchy sliced up with 5% infill with my SV06 Plus profile that I use on mine. Mine, aside from having the ABL sensor swapped and the board swapped, the hot end setup is basically stock. But yeah, so I put it together. The couple of things that could have been causing some issues with stability of the printer is the top of the machine here. So let me switch over to my other camera here. This is going to be kind of a casual stream, just like most of these are. So the screws that hold the top bar on, these were actually very loose. They were sticking up past the mount here. They should be slightly recessed. If you guys got SV06 Plus, make sure these are tightened down because this will make the whole upper gantry very unstable. So I tightened these up. You can see I can even tighten down just a little bit more, but you want those nice and snug in there. I got some Loyal Moses Pro PLA from Polymaker load up here for testing. Yeah. So all in all, so there was a couple things. The other thing, so I found these were loose up here. All four of these were loose up top. And this would have been from Sobol. I doubt Eli did this. But the other thing here is this little printed mount that he put back here. This was hitting the back here. I'm probably going to take this off. You can see you probably can't hear it because of my noise cancellation, but it's hitting. Now that could affect some issues. This isn't a big thing, but I go over every little thing on these printers. So belt tension was good. The bed is nice and stable. There's no rocking. The gantry looks good. The hot end heats up. It's actually been sitting here preheated for a bit now. So the stock power supply comes with it. It seems to be working fine. I'm going to test the voltage on it to just make sure we're operating at 24 volts. I'm pretty sure we are based on how quickly everything heated up. And actually, before I get into this, I'm gonna, because the whole reason we do this stuff is because of sales from our shop, and we do printer repairs. But one of the things I want to show off here that you guys may not be aware of, I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with our Easy ABLs. We have our Easy ABL Pro sensors. These are 18 millimeters. These are our top of the line sensors. We also have 8 millimeter ones as well in our regular Easy ABL, or I call this Pro, sorry, Easy ABL NG. Those are NG kits. But what we launched recently, for those of you that don't need universal compatibility with glass beds and plastic beds like Garolite or FR4, we actually have cheaper kits now. We call the Light, which you can see these sensors here. So it's the same control box, and the lights, we have a couple things to tell them apart. We have tags on all the wires with barcodes on them, noting that they're the lights, and these only work on metal beds. So these are an inductive type technology. So you can get an Easy ABL kit right now for $35. And the main difference between the NG and the NG Light is the NG works on all beds. The lights only work on metal beds. So if you have a flex plate or you're going right onto the aluminum bed, even if you have like a build tack type surface on there, the light will work fine. In addition to that, we're doing a 6-month warranty on the lights and a 1-year warranty on the regular NG. So those are the two different things. Other than that, they both come with tech support. They both come with firmware. So we've got 4 different options for sensors. We got 18s and 8s in both sizes. And the 8 light is a little bit heavier than the NG. So this one comes in about 1.6 ounces with the 2 nuts. The regular NG comes at about 0.8. So it's about twice the weight, but you're talking 0.8 ounces. So not much. But yeah, so and one thing we didn't do in terms of, because obviously we came out with a cheaper sensor. There were some sacrifices, and that was changing what type of sensor it was, capacitive to inductive. They're both very accurate. They're both going to get under 0.01 millimeters accuracy on most machines. You're going to see 0.005 or less. It really comes down to how well your printer is that it's going on. But these all still have fully shielded cables, which you will not see on sensors like the BL Touch or the CR Touch, or even like what Victory Tech has a little BL Touch knockoff too now. These all still have fully shielded cables because I do think this is really, really good to have in terms of accuracy. So they both are using the same silicone shielded cabling. So we're seeing how that works out. If it works out, we'll keep making them and order them. If they aren't a big seller, then we won't keep ordering them. So just wanted to mention that. So, all right, let's jump into this. Oh, yeah, I saw somebody talking about this. This is not mine. I'm just going to be clear. This is not mine. This is the next printer I'm repairing. This got delivered on a U-Haul truck because this is a fully enclosed 600 by 600 by 1000 machine with a heated chamber and a 220 volt AC bed. So you guys would laugh. The hot end setup on this Soval is better than the hot end setup on this giant expensive printer. It's horrible. It had a knockoff Meanwhile power supply in it. So we're putting on our multi-mount system with a high flow hot end setup, our Tough Extruder V2, MKS Monster 8, doing independent Z gantry leveling with it. The physical printer is really nice, ball screws, linear rails everywhere. But we're going to basically take this from just kind of meh and where it's not reliable to actually being a working printer with a giant nozzle on it. Basically, the extruder on this is like what you would get on a Wanhao from like 7 or 8 years ago. It's all plastic. It's super crappy. It's rough. They've gone through 4 BL touches on this in 2 years because they keep getting hit by the prints and getting damaged. So we're putting our Easy ABL on here. Yeah. So, but it's got a chamber heater. It's got an AC bed. So I'm be doing a lot of custom work. Basically, taking a printer that they can't get reliably working. I'm going to hand them back a fully working machine. So this thing is so big, I actually could not get it through this door. I had to open my overhead door to get it in here. So, and we'll be running our Unified 2 firmware on that machine. So I don't know how much of that will be streamed because it's really hard for me to actually videotape. I do all the video stuff myself. I don't have help. So, and I can't exactly put this on my work. So, but yeah, this is from a local company here. They're about 25 minutes from us out in Crown Point. So, yeah. All right, let's take a look. I'm going to double check, and I'm assuming this is probably going to test good, but I want to just double check before we go any further. I don't know why I unplugged this. I have to have this plugged in to test it. We're going to see what we get here on the PSU. So we should have our positive here. I hate this connector. Positive here, negative here, and we are getting 24.19. That's fine. All right, so PSU is good. We'll go ahead and put that in there. So everything does heat up. So we're going to see what happens here. I'm going to pop my SD, or well, this is his SD card. It came in the printer. And he does still have the stock board in here. So we're going to go ahead and update this with the latest firmware. And I don't think he did anything wrong with the firmware setup. I'm just updating it just because I have it here. Might as well get it on the latest version and get it all dialed in. So it does look like it's taken the update. There we go. TH3D logo. We should see 279 on here, which is our latest. Yep, there we go. 279. And I'm going to go ahead and get this preheated here. And I'm going to just check a couple of things. We're just going to start out and see what it does when I tell it to print. So aside from some mechanical adjustments and building it, I haven't done anything to this machine. So we're going to see what happens. I am going to check here to see if my gantry is level. So I'm just going to take my little TH3D ruler here, and we're at 11.5 on this side here. And we're at almost 11.5 on this side. Man, I eyeballed that pretty close. Cool. All right. And all the motors are nice and tight. I don't see anything loose there. I'm going to just double check them here. I like to go over like basically every nut and bolt that I can get to when I have a printer come through here, because you never know. I've had some machines where like stuff is loose that you would never expect to be loose, especially on a newer machine. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and print this. I got a benchy here. We're gonna let that heat up. While that's heating up, I'm just gonna double check that all these on the face and the rear are all snugged up. And I do have my wireless mic. How's my audio tonight? You guys able to hear everything okay? And I do see there's, I'm gonna take this zip tie off here because I don't like where this is sitting. I got a sec before it starts printing, literally like a couple seconds. Oh, all right, I got that out of the way. All right, let's see. Okay, it's not rubbing anymore. So I have our ABL starting code in here. And I do have the super fast probing on here. This probe typically seems like it behaves okay. They're not the best probe. The main concern with these is not necessarily accuracy, but reliability. I have had a lot of people tell us that they've replaced the probe with ours solely because the original probe failed on it. So they're just cheap. Oh yeah, I totally forgot. Did you guys see we came out with new flex plates? We only have them in 235 by 235 right now, but I am ordering other ones. But these are our new Easy Flex Pro plates. Look how sexy these are. This is going on my SV06. Look at that. All right. So I'm going to set my first layer here. I got some glue on the nozzle. It came off. Okay. So I'm going to set my first layer here. I'm baby stepping in here. It was pretty far away. I might restart it just because that Z offset was really far. We're at negative, well, I guess that's not that far. Negative 1.425. It's not terrible. I guess I didn't crank the knob fast enough. Yeah, let me restart this because it'll start right back up pretty quick. Yeah, I'm getting a good first layer on here. Actually, before we start, let's see what our M48 is with the stock sensor here. I'm going to preheat the PLA just so the bed stays at temp, and we're going to go ahead and do the M48 probe test. Are we going to do that, or why are we pissed off? Oh, probe is out of bounds. Oh, hang on. Auto home. And now M48 probe test. I was like, why is it not letting me do it? Because we're not homed. Or not that we're not home. We're not in a location. Why are you not showing me my probe result? How are you being annoying tonight? I got to check and see. There was a line of code I put in on one release where when you did M48 probe test, it would auto G28 and then do the probe test. But I'm wondering if an update I did at some point undid that. Because it should have done that. There we go. M48 point. Let's see where we're at. Let's see if this stock probe is working fine. I would assume it's working okay. It's new. 0.0033. Yeah, that's fine. All right. Let's go ahead and print this, and let's see what this print does. Print from SD. And I did not store my Z offset. We were at like negative 1.4, so I'm going to just set that right now, like 1.4. And then I'm going to go in, hit configuration, and store settings. All right. I just realized you guys can't see the LCD, but I want to see what this does. So let's see what it does. I'm gonna be a little like disappointed if you sent this whole printer and it does work. I know my profile is pretty well dialed in for this machine, so I'll be honest. I've never, aside from printing their stock G code, I've actually never used a manufacturer's stock slicer in a long time. Like, I know, very long time. No, so here's the thing. I homed it and I told it to extrude and everything. I didn't do a print with the firmware you came here with, and it all was functioning. So I don't think it was a firmware. I just update because why not? I have it here. Might as well update it to the whatever the latest is. I'm not going to send a printer back with outdated firmware. Come on. The unified default is bang bang. It's just very fast. It's half a second, so 500 milliseconds. So the reason we do that is your bed does not change temperatures rapidly like your hot end. So having it check every every half a second to see if it needs a heat or not is perfectly fine. And especially on printers that have like a slower CPU, it does help conserve CPU cycles as well. I'm just dialing in the first layer further. We're at like negative 1.55. All right, so we're going to let it go. It does look like it's printing. I don't see any issues right now. I did adjust the tension on here. It was a little loose. The little tension here that opens the access door, this was a little loose. I just tightened that down when I put the extruder on. The layer fan is working. It seems like it's extruding okay. Let's see. Yeah, like it's feeding when it should be feeding. I'm just checking to see if it looks under extruded. I don't see under extrusion happening. Yeah, looking pretty good. And I sliced this at 80 millimeters a second, so it's not printing slow. It's not printing like blazing fast, but it's not printing slow. Yeah, it looks like it's printing pretty good. Through experience, speaking of the SV05, we're getting some goodies for that. Yeah, I have them set aside. There will be a stream this week for that. I'm thinking probably Friday. So this does seem to be printing fine. Eli, what was the main issue here? Oh, excuse me. Your PDI sheet looks fine. I don't see any gouge or anything. It looks like it's in pretty good shape. Yeah, the purge line looks normal. I don't see any issues with that. Now, what I want to see is if we're getting under extrusion, because these extruders, I have had issues with the SV06 in that the gears inside, the grub screws like to work their way out sometimes, and then you get print quality issues. So I am going to take the extruder apart and check all that before I send it back. But I'm not seeing extrusion problems. It looks pretty good. Okay, so he said the issue was it seemed to reset homing every time I print. What do you mean by reset homing? Like your Z offset? And the purge line was inconsistent. So if the purge line's inconsistent, that can indicate a hot end problem. Now here, let me see. I'm gonna intentionally grab the filament and see if I can stop it from feeding in, because this is a geared extruder. I mean, I'm pinching it and it's still grabbing. So I'm wondering if like the extruder adjustment was off, because I did adjust it. And what I mean by that is this little guy here. So on these printers, they have this little thumb screw here, and a lot of printers have these little adjustments. This is your tension adjustment. So this, when I got it, was like, I don't know, somewhere like, I'm unscrewing it right now while it's printing. It was somewhere like that, where I could see the spring, okay? So like, and if I grab this, now I'm able to actually stop it from extruding. So that could cause inconsistent feeding. So you want on these, you want this spring to almost be completely compressed here. Like that's usually where I have mine. On my SV06 and SV06 Plus is usually right around that level. Um, and that'll just ensure that that it's got enough tension to hold those gears together so it can actually drive the filament. Because this is a dual drive gear extruder. They did a pretty good um, job on that. Now with the Z offset, so Z offset being inconsistent, that could be the probe. And a lot of times what you get with cheaper probes, which obviously we don't use cheap probes here. I don't want to have, I don't want my customers having issues. Is consistency. So even though the M48 test came back good, it could just be, that this probe is one that drifts a lot with temperature changes. Like it could test good all the time, but then the trigger distance is changing significantly between hot and cold. The other thing too, like I said, I found that the gantry was loose, but I don't think that would really affect the offset that much because it's still, that's at the top, right? That's going to cause fluctuation. It could though. It was pretty loose. In general, if your Z offset's changing and your whatever your probe is, whether it's a BL Touch, a CR Touch, or Easy ABL stock probe, the first thing you check is make sure the printer is physically built well. There's nothing loose. Your belts are nice and tensioned. You don't have any, like, if you have rollers, like your V-slot rollers are not loose. Like on this printer, this has the linear rods, which is a little harder to screw up. That's honestly one of the only reasons I agreed to take a look at this was because this is a printer that doesn't have V-slot wheels, because these ship a lot better. These tend to not get out of whack when they're shipped as badly as a V-slot machine, because a V-slot machine can get banged up and thrown out of whack. But you can see there it's printing really well. I don't see any under extrusion in there. Even when I was pulling on it, like I got it to kind of slip a little bit, but it didn't really show up on the print. I am going to check inside there just to double check because it's not going to hurt. So I'm wondering if I should even let this finish because it's looking pretty good. What do you guys think? Should we let it go? Or should I start taking things apart and checking stuff? The other thing too, I will note, I know my grounding here is really good. That's another thing. I'll check the grounding on the power supply. And in general, especially with proximity type sensors, whether it's inductive or capacitive, if you have really noisy power, whether that's your actual wall power has a lot of interference on it, or you have a really kind of crappy quality power supply with a poor ground, you're going to be more likely to pick up interference. That's one of the reasons why we do the shielded cabling on our sensors, is because of just general electrical interference. And the other thing you can do, and I think even the Vorons recommend you do this, is when you're getting ready to print, let your printer preheat and kind of get up to temperature, because while the sensors typically won't change, if your sensor's working correctly, the physical printer, as everything heats up, it's metal and plastic, it's going to slightly change its geometry, which could then affect how the sensor is reading everything. So, I mean, like we typically, if I know I'm going to run a print, like if I know I'm going to fire up a print on one of my printers, I will preheat it and then I'll let it sit there while I'm doing my slicing and stuff. I'll upload the thing to the, I'll upload the file to my Pi and print. But at that point, the printer's been sitting there for, 5 to 10 minutes preheated. So everything's getting a chance to heat up and, expand and contract and do all that fun stuff before I even start the print. So that's another way you can combat any sort of geometry changes. Even on a printer that doesn't have an ABL probe, it's never a bad idea to preheat your system. So, that's just my experience from dealing with machines in general. Especially with this big printer, when I start working on that, I'm going to tell them preheat it, let it sit, let it get heat soaked, let all the rails get warm, let all the not the extrusion, but the frame, let everything heat up, and then run the print. It just is better that way, because then you have less variables to account for when dealing with stuff, if that makes sense. Come on, here we go. You guys know the deal. This needy little shit always has to make an appearance. The filament would sometimes come out crispy. So let me see here. I'm going to intentionally mess with this comment. You need to get down. I'm going to mess with the hot end here. I'm going to stop the print though and mess with the hot end. And I'm just going to jiggle the wires and see if we have any sort of like temperature fluctuations on the hot end here. All right. So let's take a look at what did print from the looks of it here. It looks like it came out pretty good. Come on, focus. There we go. I mean, there's ringing, which is to be expected. There's no input shaping on right now. But, I mean, it's printing pretty good. This does have the stock board, so we're going to get more artifacting on it. The stock board does not print as well as ours, but it does print. So, but all in all, looks pretty good. Our first layer, I could have got a little closer on there, but it's stuck. It's uniform, though. All right, so let's do this. I'm going to disable my steppers here. And then we're going to move this up so I can get access to the wires easily. And then we're going to move stuff. I'm like, all the wires look pretty good on here. Now, the stock sensor that they have on here, there's no shielded cables on here. So if it is picking up interference, it's not going to be able to combat that. And it's also a very low voltage sensor. So these sensors only run at 5 volts. Another reason that we have the control board for our Easy ABL kits is our sensors run on 12 to 24 volts, and just the higher voltage makes them less susceptible to interference. So there are trade-offs. All right, so I don't think I'm able to show you guys the wires here, but I'm gonna just kind of push on these, mainly the thermistor lines. I'm getting no change here. Like thermistor lines seem good. Let me see the ribbon cable here. Little tug. I'm not seeing any fluctuation, which is good. It doesn't indicate that there's a wiring problem. See over here, we got any issues over here? Kind of tap the control box, see if we got any loose wires. I don't see anything wrong in there. Everything looks good so far. Let me check the ground on the PSU. So we checked the voltage to make sure it was running at the right voltage. I did not check to see if we have a good ground here. So let me see here. Do we have any idea when we get to the SV07? I'm not sure right now. Let's see. But let's just check everything here. So I'm gonna put this in continuity mode. And we're gonna check the grounding here. I'm gonna go to the chassis. We got 9. Oh, let me see. I'm on the. Let me make sure. We got 9 ohms of resistance on here. Now here's the thing on this printer, because they did put a ground wire here on the plug. We can check to see if that's just the chassis itself. I want to see what the actual ground resistance is. It's actually 0.12. So the power supply itself has a good ground. Was that 0.12 or 1.2? Hang on, let me double check that. 0.12. Okay. So even though the chassis itself here is not really well grounded because it's only going through the screws, and you've got this coating on the PSU. Let me see here. I kind of work the bolts in to go through that coating and tighten them down. Let me see if I can get a better reading. If not, I can actually open the power supply up and check the grounding screw, because I think, if memory serves correct, that wire goes right to the terminal, which would make sense. It's got low resistance, which is what you want to see. But let me double check here. I'm at 26 now. So it actually got higher. And I think it's due to this coating they use on here. So let's take a look at this. And actually, this will be kind of good. I can show you guys how to actually try to fix a poor ground on a power supply. So the continuity of that grounding cable is good because if memory serves correct, they directly grounded the bed is what it goes to, which is not a bad thing. And especially with proximity sensors, especially cheap ones, you want to minimize your interference. So it is good that they grounded the bed. However, you also want to have the chassis grounded. So let's see if we can get the chassis with this stock PSU to be a little bit better grounded. Because like with a mean well, it'll be better grounded. But there is a little trick on these that you can use. And we'll see if this one is one that we can do this trick. Is we actually open this up. And I apologize for my janky camera work here. But we're going to check the screw that actually does the grounding. And I'm also going to go ahead and take the Dremel and expose some of the coating on the side of the power supply here that goes up against the extrusion. So we do have like the bolt holes and stuff here, but we want to have a little more contact. So I'm just going to take some of this off. Eli, if you're okay with that, you're in the stream. Are you okay with that? You won't even see it. So that's typically what I do. I'm not a big fan of these coatings on here. I see Aaron asking about when we'll get to the SV07. I do not know. I have a pretty full printer load right now. After this one, I'm going to be working on that big sucker that's sitting behind me. I was not trying to flex on anybody. It is literally a customer's printer. Yeah. So here's why we have good continuity on there, because it goes right to there. However, there is a screw in here that we need to get to. And for these larger screws, I'm going to use my Master Force Menard screwdriver. All right, so for this one, so I'm just going to take some of the coating off here. It's a pretty thick coating. Let me shoosh this up a little bit. Make sure all those shavings are gone. So now we got bare metal here. So hopefully what this will do is when we tighten the screws down, this will be bare metal right up against the extrusion. And the extrusion does have coating on it, but we can also hit that with the Dremel as well here. And again, you're not going to see any of this. It'll be our little secret, okay, chat? Shh. Oh, it's got to be great to inhale. All right. So now what we want to make sure is that the power supply, because the power supply is what's going to give us that ground to the chassis. Also, there were these 3 extra screws in the package. I don't know what they're for, so I'll send them back with you. I was missing 1 T-nut for the screen. So doesn't the screw make the metals touch? Now, here's the thing. These screws are like kind of coated. So I want to have metal on metal connection there. Yes, there's going to be some. Obviously, we're getting some continuity, but extra contact is not going to hurt anything. But what we're going to do here is I'm going to check the continuity, and I'm going to show you guys on these cheaper power supplies, because this is pretty universal. They all do the same kind of thing. There's a screw in here by the grounding terminal. That is responsible for that. And a lot of times what happens is the screw just isn't making good contact. And let's see if I can find it. It's probably this guy right here. It's typically by the main power input. And if we see right here, we got this screw here. Let me see if we have metal underneath here. Yep. So you see there's metal there? That's the grounding one. If we look at the other terminals, they actually don't have ground on there. So the thing is, if the coating is on the inside of this unit, which I think it also is, it's not going to make good contact. However, the inside of those threads are not coated. You guys probably can't see that. And this is a regular screw. So just tightening this down against here should make better contact. And we can verify that by probing it out with the meter. So let's see where we're at right now. I should have tested it before I took the screw out. However, let's see. So if I go off the terminal here and we test to one of the other screws. So I'm going to come out to the one of the other screws here. We've got like 3 ohms of resistance. Now I'm going to put this screw in. I'm going to tighten this sucker down. Okay. So I'm going to put this in and we're going to tighten that down. Sorry, I keep it in camera. It's really, really close. So I'm tightening this down. And I want to see what we get now from ground here to chassis. We're at like 1. I'm not happy with that. Typically what will happen is you will tighten that screw down and the grounding reading will be a lot better. So if I test the actual thing here, oh, I guess it is. I guess it's just these screws are really kind of shitty. That one's at 1.7. Is it just this side is not that great? Yeah, it's something on this side. Hang on. Let's see if I take this out and put it back in. That was not tight at all. This isn't a grounding screw, but it's going into the chassis. So I'm going to see if maybe there's just coating in there. And now we're at 0 ohms. Well, and that it's 1.15. Okay. So we're a lot better. All right. So this guy was definitely a culprit. So quick fix, if you have a crappy ground, open this up and take this screw out and put it back in and tighten it down. And since I'm in here, I'm just going to tighten all these stock screws back up here. Just a little bit, just snug them up. And now I'm going to check from the ground to these exposed things here. And we want to see that really low resistance. So let's see here. See if I can get all the tools in here. There we go. 0.12. It's good. What are my leads? I know these are decent leads, but still. So basically, we're reading the same as my leads. That's good. That's what we want. All right. So I'm going to put the top back on here. And we're going to check the chassis after doing these quick little modifications here. I find funny, these are not UL listed power supplies. After spending some more time, I've been load testing Creality's little knockoffs of the Meanwells. I can say they are better than the Changlangs. So, yes, they're not Meanwells, but whatever Creality's using for those, either they have better QC, better components, even if Changlang's still making them. But they're better than the crap they were shipping with. So, I guess it's better to have knockoffs that are not as bad as the old knockoffs if we can't get name brand power supplies and things. All right, so let's see what we're reading now too. What is the cleaning up of the ground? Hang on, what's the cleaning up that ground on the frame help out other than making it safer to touch? It helps reduce interference. So having a good solid ground on your printer in general will help reduce interference, whether it's from the motors or from the heaters. Just having your chassis grounded is a good thing. There's another thing with a giant printer. Their chassis was not grounded on a printer with mains power going through the bed. I can't believe how crappily that printer was built electronic-wise. Physically, it's actually really nice. That big printer sitting behind me, physically, it's built like a tank. But I have a feeling like it looks like the team who was in charge of the electronics was not the same team that built the physical frame. So as a licensed electrician, I support that knockoff PSUs. I mean, I want you all non. Yeah, I do not run non-UL listed PSUs. So my thing is, and this could be hearsay, but I have friends that work in the insurance industry, and they were telling me that if they determine that like one of these knockoff power supplies, so like this is a knockoff Changlang power supply. There's no UL on here, in your or IETL or what is that other company? There's another company that there's UL, which is Underwriter Laboratories. They've been around for a while. There's another one, ETL, I think it is. Like our Wi-Fi switches involved are ETL listed. It's just another certification program. But basically, from what I understand, is like if the power supply burns down your house and it's not a UL listed power supply, your homeowner's insurance could say that you were using an unapproved unit that wasn't certified by a regulatory agency and deny the claim if your printer burned down your house. Now, I'm not an expert, but that's what I've been told by a couple of people that work in the insurance industry. Yeah, they won't pay. So that's the thing. I look at it this way. It's $50, 60 tops for most power supplies to change them out for a UL listed one. Is it really worth that $50 to $60 risk? And that's at our retail prices. If you hunt around, you can find used ones for cheaper. You know, I'm not trying to fearmonger or sell power supplies. I'm just trying to give good information here. So, because I've had people like, oh, you only say that because you guys sell Meanwells. I don't make shit selling Meanwell power supplies because we have such low volume. I would rather if you don't want to buy it from us, then go buy it from somebody else if you want to save a couple bucks. I genuinely mean that. So just make sure you're getting real Meanwell power supplies. Because the funny thing is, and I'll show you. You guys want to see something funny? This is like, I think this printer was like $6,000 or something obscene like that. On their website, they say it's a Meanwell power supply. One, I can tell by this shiny, chitty Chinese cover, just the appearance, this chrome, not a Meanwell. Look at the logo. This is not a Meanwell power supply. It just says switching power supply with MW in red. This is not even a part number Meanwell makes. So this giant printer has a knockoff in it. They were pissed. The company that has this, they're not pissed at me. They're pissed at what I found. So I mean well when I say buy Meanwell. Yes, Meanwell, here's how long Meanwell's been around. My Commodore 64 that's from the 80s has a Meanwell power supply in it. Meanwell is a Chinese company. You can get good quality Chinese stuff. We carry a lot of Chinese stuff, but you have to pay more for it. So, you know, as much as I don't like Apple as a company, they make good hardware and they make all their stuff in China. Although I heard they're moving to India. But either way, you can get good quality stuff made in China. It's just, is it actually going to, or it's going to cost more? All right, so let's see if my grounding efforts were helpful here. All right. Okay. Let me check my continuity between the chassis and the ground and see if it worked. All right. Let's see what we're reading on the chassis now. So I'm going to go to like bare metal here. On one probe. Look at that, 0.1. We're at 9 ohms of resistance. So if interference was the cause of your problems with the printer not being reliable, that's all sorted now. All right. And look at, you can't even tell that I ground off the coating. You can't. Look at, you can't even tell. I'm all sneaky like that. He's covering up that he's improving the grounding. It's a conspiracy. Oh no. He's so janky. All right. Let's take a look at the wiring here. Let me unplug this. And we're going to take a look inside the control box because this is the last thing I haven't gone into. So issues, definitely bad grounding. Bunch of loose bolts on here up top, which would definitely cause stability problems. I'm thinking more of the poor quality ground would be more of a problem in terms of your sensor being all over the place. So look at this. Do you see this? Holy shit, is this loose? This isn't even grabbing the fuse. Do you see this? Oh, so there are some janky things going on here. So the bottom one is grabbing, but this top one is like, it's like a hot dog down a hallway. It's like just barely grabbing. You see that? See what I'm talking about here? So hey, good news is we're finding a bunch of little stuff. Nothing super major. Well, I guess this would be kind of major. The fuse holder is not holding the fuse very well. Let me see if I can. Oh, I'm gonna have to like. There we go. Back this out of it. So this one here is loose as shit. So like it's barely, like if I just kind of put this in here, look at, like, versus down here, it won't let me even push it in without force. So this one is very loose. Like, you see this? So that we can get in there and bend those little tabs back out. I mean, I'm this thorough on all the stuff we do. I check all this stuff because I want things to be fixed. So let's get in there. Let's bend these tabs out. And I'm using my TH3D screwdriver set here. Let's get these tabs bent out. We're going to do it on both because the bottom one, even though it's biting, it can bite harder. And harder bite means less resistance between the contacts. Let's get that fuse back in there. Oh, look at that. All right. I'm going to shove this sucker in there. Oh, yeah, that's a lot of force needed. Oh, okay. There we go. Look at it. It ain't moving now. All right. Cool. And we got crimp ferrules on here because Soval actually did something right. Everything else looks pretty good. He got his LCD cable in here. We got all our ABL stuff going on. I don't see any pinched wires here. Okay. Oh, yeah, this is the detection. This is for the header on the side of the hot end that they never used for I don't know, future use. But this has a filament sensor already. All right. Cool. Okay, so a couple of electrical problems here. Do you want me to change out the sensor on the board while you have it here? That will not change the labor cost. I can do that. That's all covered. So we just do flat rate repairs here. So like just going over the printer in general, like I'm doing now. And if you want like an ABL kit installed, you want a filament sensor installed, you want some NeoPixel lighting installed, it's all included in that $100 one. The only time we'll go over the $100 one is like this giant thing. That's a complete custom job. Then we usually bill by the hour. But yeah, I mean, I can swap this out. I want to see. I'm just curious to see if the accuracy is going to change. We did get 0.0033 on the sensor, so I don't think it's going to change much. But I'm just curious to see what we will get after going over this. I've seen worse. Let me put it this way. I've seen worse. This isn't the worst printer I have seen by far. Okay. Yeah, and honestly, for you, if you don't want to go to a glass bed, which or like a plastic bed, I would just go with our light kit. Save yourself the $10. I'll put on whatever you want. It's your printer. So you're the customer. The customer's always right in terms of what they want to buy, right? That's actually the quote. You know, people would say, "Oh, the customer's always right in terms of taste," and what that means is the customer's always right in terms of what they want to buy and what products you should sell. It doesn't mean that the customer gets to be a Karen and be rude to you for every little reason. That quote is misconstrued by Karens. But it means that the customer is always right in terms of what you should sell. Because guess what? That's your job as a company, is to sell customers things. All right, so let's see what we got in the M48 probe test. I don't think we'll see a major difference. I'll be shocked. But we were at 0.0033, which is fine. If you're under 0.01 on your ABL kit, no matter if it's a stock one, a BL Touch, CR Touch, you're fine. Yeah, we're still at about the same. So I didn't expect that to really matter. Now, here's the thing. I also have really good grounding here. I'm very anal about all my electrical stuff here. The circuit this is running on, I actually ran myself, all the way back to our panel downstairs. But the other thing too is, if in your guys' house in general, for anybody watching, if you are having weird electrical problems, like things are dying all the time, or getting weird sort of interference or instability, I would recommend checking your outlets. There's like really inexpensive outlet testers. I have one that does GFIs and everything. It's like 35 bucks. Klein makes it. Definitely recommend you have that and go around and test all your outlets, because you'll be surprised. Sometimes you'll have stuff where line and neutral are backwards, or they're not even grounded. Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, Maya's saying my Z offset was inconsistent for about 2 weeks in my SV06 Plus. Then it just started working fine without any problems. Had any problems since. No idea why. Something might have stopped being loose. A lot of, like I said, a lot of issues with Z offset inconsistencies, no matter what probe you're using, typically are mechanical. Because typically probes either work or they don't. Especially ones that have no moving parts, like this, or like our easy ABLs. Now with the BL Touch and the CR Touch, they have moving parts. There's more variables. But even then, typically a probe works or it doesn't. Either works really well or it doesn't work at all. So I do have a brand new easy board right here if you want. And I do have, obviously these are sensors. I just use these to take photos. But actually I'll probably go around and grab another one, because I have the mounts already pre-printed ABS out there. I keep one of each sensor on hand for doing photos and demos and stuff. And they live in my drawer here. My NG 8, which is the small one, is actually on my Ender 5 S1 right there. Yeah, the Klein testers. I'll post a link. Let me grab an Amazon affiliate link. Also, I appreciate everybody. Amazon. So an update on our affiliate link situation. So, like I said, I'm not an idiot. I understand people shop at Amazon, even though I'm not a big fan of them. However, you guys can support us by using our Amazon affiliate link. However, Amazon flagged our account because apparently you're not allowed to have your link in the actual video description, even though many other big YouTubers I found had. So whatever, I had to remove the link. So what I did to get around that, because the link has to be on our website, is I did put a page up on our website, and it's linked in the video description, called, it's a support us page. And I'm going to actually be putting other there. Sorry, I clicked my thing. So I am going to be putting other links on there to other affiliates. One of them is StreamYards, which is what we're using right now to stream. So if you guys want to do streams like this, video, whether you are doing printer stuff or other stuff, I really like StreamYards. We pay for it. We do get a kickback, like a $20 kickback if you sign up for StreamYards, which then comes off of our bill. But we pay for it either way. We pay like $50 a month for it. But yeah, so like, let me share this here. So I know. So what we have here is, if you go to th3dstudio.com/support-us, it's linked in the description. There's our Amazon link right here. I cannot tell you to bookmark this link. That's against their terms of service. I can't put the link in the description, but I can tell you that our Amazon affiliate link here, you will not get any special treatment from us. I can't incentivize people, but if you guys do want to support us, this directly supports us. And the money I get from the affiliate sales, I then go put into the company account, and then I can justify buying more printers that we don't need, whether we're doing just streams on them or we're doing testing and development work. And I hear Comet messing with something in the garage. Hey, Comet, what are you doing? Hang on, I gotta go yell at the dog. I hear him chewing on something. What are you doing? Go, both of you. Go. I'll be like a nun. I'll hit you with my TH3D ruler. Lay down. Yeah. So anyways, I'm going to be adding other stuff here. We did get an eBay affiliate account, so I'm going to have our eBay link on there as well. So basically, if you want to buy stuff through other sites and still support us and the work we do here in the streams, you can go ahead and do that. And this link is in our video descriptions, and it will be. So you can sign up for StreamYard here. This is our StreamYard link, and this is our Amazon affiliate link as well. So when you guys use those links to shop, like you would do anyways, we get a percentage, and it varies. Like Amazon, it can be like a percent. They've gotten very stingy with their affiliate stuff. They did this right during all all the lockdowns and stuff, which really sucked because they were making tons of money. Like we were able to basically buy a printer up to $500 every month with affiliate sales. Like we got anywhere from $400 to $500 a month. It was down to like $14 after they changed all their stuff, which really sucked. So, yeah. Did your 5015 fan make it? You know what? I might have missed it in the box. The box is right over here. Let me see here. But yeah, Eli, if you're gonna stick with the metal flex plates, the light will be fine. Save yourself a couple bucks. I don't care. I'll put whatever sensor you want on there. So there's the screen in the box here. Where is the fan? I don't see the fan. Is it like? Hang on, I'm pulling all this out of here. Nope, not there. There's a scraper and a bracket in the box. I see a screen. There's no like hidden compartments here. I don't see the fan setup. Maybe put it in there. I don't see that. Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't in there. I unboxed this and put everything up here, and then I started the stream. So, I mean, if I can put that all on there if you want. I don't know if I'll do it all tonight on the stream. I wanted to keep this kind of shorter, but I can get the board switched out and ABL kit. Well, maybe I'll do it all. I might need to take a quick intermission to use the restroom before I dig into this, if that's okay with you guys. JDCCC, can you do short leads for the Easy ABL for the SV07 toolhead board? No. We don't like cutting those cables because they're shielded and they're a pain to crimp. They're all nicely heat shrunk and crimped and everything. Typically we tell you mount the sensor, run the cable back with all your other cables, and then mount our control board. So I can do that. I see Eli how much was shipping? It was like 20 something bucks, I think. It was like $25 for UPS label. So it's like gonna be $50 in shipping each way, like round trip. We get discounted labels. So I sent him a label and I just billed him for the label. So like labor and shipping, $150, and then plus parts is what he's gonna be into this for. So yeah, I can just put up the. Do I have a be right back thing? I don't know if I have a be right back thing. I can do a be. Let me see if I find like a quick be right back video I can steal from YouTube. Hang on. Let me see. Be right back stream overlay. Here we go. I found a little neon one that says be right back. Let me see. Does it have audio? Oh, it has. I guess we can roll with that. It says, is this no copyright? I don't know if I can play these. I could strip the audio out. Let me see. It says free. You know what? If this video gets popped, we'll see. I can always do it. Let me download this video really quick, and then I'll put this up. I'll use the restroom, and then after I'm done with the restroom, I'm gonna run at the shop. I'm gonna steal an ABL kit and the 5015. What are we doing? ABL. Sorry, ABL kit, the 5015, and Easy Board. Correct. This Easy Board was going in my SV05, but I'll grab another one. It's all good. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I can do that. All right. I am downloading this be right back thing. Let's see. And now I got to upload it to. Oh, it's taking a second to download. I got to upload it to StreamYard here. So appreciate y'all hanging out. Yeah, I hope everything. I hope everything after this makes this all more consistent. There's not a ton of issues with this. I mean, I've been running, so my SV06 Plus has the Meanwhile power supply on it. our control board, our ABL kit, and our 5015 fan duct, and obviously our LCD kit because I don't like using their stock. Their stock software is horrible. But it's been a great printer. It's been printing really well. Um, so, and I haven't had like my stock ABL worked fine. I have a couple SV06 ABLs here, one from the regular 06 and one from my Plus. I just put our stuff on there because I know it's probably going to give me issues later on the road. I'd rather just switch it out. You know what I mean? Um, Pirate ship. So we use ShipStation, which I think Pirate ship uses the same kind of rates. So it's probably going to be about the same. But yeah, yeah, we use ShipStation. ShipStation does all of our shipping for the company, all our orders, any returns, that kind of stuff. So basically, what I did for him to get his printer here, I made him an order to pay for the label and um, the $50 deposit for the labor, and then I shipped it, and then I created a return label to send the printer back. And then going back to him, I'll send him an invoice, and this printer will basically ship just like a normal order. I'll pack it back up in the stock box, and then ship it out with him. All right, let's see. Is this uploaded? It's processing, and then I'm gonna go use the little boys' room. Actually, I can kill two birds with one stone because I got a bathroom in the shop, so I'm gonna run out there. Um, I'm gonna just jot this down so I don't forget anything. I don't think there's anything else we need. It's got a filament sensor already on it because it's a Plus model. Where is my here's my pen. I was like, I know I had a pen here. Okay, so we're gonna do an NG18 light, and then the 5015 kit, which I have in stock. And then what was the last one? I'm missing. Oh, the easy board. So we'll see how this goes. I'm curious to see also if this ships all right, which I'm going to cut the foam out to like account for the bigger hot end setup. I was really thinking honestly about getting um, getting a bunch of SV06 pluses and just pre-upgrading them and selling them pre-upgraded because this printer is actually fairly easy to ship and is not going to have a ton of problems out of the box. And I think people would buy those pre-upgraded from us. And then obviously too, then if you have issues with it, you would get support from us. And I'd be including my slicer profile for that. I've been really liking Prusa Slicer. Is this done processing yet? It is. All right. So I'm gonna go run out to the shop, use the restroom while I'm out there, and I'm gonna grab the parts for this, and we're gonna come back. And we're gonna upgrade it right now. So I will be right back.
They claim to be who they ain't. Try to knock my hustle, they can't. I pull this burner out of my pain. Chop him up where he stands. They claim to be who they ain't. Try to knock my hustle, they can't. I pull this burner out of my pain. They claim to be who they ain't. Chop him up. Chop him up where he stands.
Switch it up.
Chop him up where he stays. Okay. 100 pounds, take break them down. Take a couple phone calls, they gon' make them round. Let's make it show that everybody eat. So in the end, I'm making ends on everybody's street.
All right. How was the music that came with that? All right. So let's get into it. Let's get this thing upgraded. All right. So I got a brand new EasyBoard V2, 5015 duct kit fan, ABL kit. We're good to go. All right. Let's go ahead and shut this off and unplug it. Let me move the Z up. We're going to start at the hot end side here. And then I'm actually going to grab my brand new, wait, what am I throw here? We got the solder shrink or the quick solder stuff in. So we're going to be using these for the fan. And we're going to be using our little hot air gun we have. I really like this thing. Check this out. So we have these in the shop. They're like $50. And they come with 9 different tips. I like this tip best for doing heat shrink and the soldering. It's got a little clip here that you can bolt on the stuff. Or you just put it on here and you can set it down on your desk or workstation. Now, when you turn it on, it'll go to the last temperature you have, and you've got an adjustment here for the fan. You could also then just change it here. We went like 250 for the solder shrinks here. And the nice thing is when you turn it off, it'll actually run the fan to cool the element down so it doesn't sit there hot, and it does include another element. So I like this. I gave my other small heat shrinky hot air gun that I've been using for years, a Krista, to use on prints and stuff, because this gets way hotter. This is 650 watts in this little thing here. So, all right. Let's go ahead and get the stock ABL off of here. Where's my 2mm wrench? Did I knock it on the floor again? No. All right, that's fine. I got my TH3 screwdriver kit. All right. Yeah, no, I'm very happy with the little hot air gun I sourced. All right, so we're going to pull straight down on this, and this should come out. Did we glue this in here? Holy crap. All right, there we go. So stock sensor comes out. We're going to take the 2 bolts out of the left side or the right side here. And these screws will get reused for the new mount. I'm probably going to put the camera into manual focus mode while I am working on this, because otherwise the autofocus likes to focus on my hands, and nobody wants to just sit there looking at my hands, okay? I am not hand model material, okay? I'm just going to put that out there right now. All right, so take the screws from the stock mount, put those through, and we're just screw this into the side here. Oh, I got to take the, hang on, I got to take the fan out of the way here. I got to take that off there. Yeah, the stock sensor is inductive. So is the one we're putting on here. It's just a better quality sensor. So, and he was having issues with the Z offset anyways, which tells us the sensor is probably not great right now. So I feel like with these stock sensors, you either get a good one or you get a bad one, and you know, you get what you pay for. The other thing too is the stock sensor is running everything through the ribbon cable, so it's definitely going to be more prone to picking up interference, whereas ours has its own. Stock fan off of here. I just realized I might have to revise the SV06 Plus mount here, because it does butt up against the fan. Like, it'll still work, but it's like, maybe it's just the wires. Is it just the wires? Yeah, it's still, I'm probably going to need to move this. I'm looking at this here. I wonder if literally everybody that's replaced it with our ABL kit has also just done the fan at the same time. That's why nobody's reported it. Because I just realized I put our ABL kit on here when I had the fan on there as well. So I don't know if Tor's watching right now, but I might have to make a revision for the 06 Plus mount. All right. So now the stock fan here, we're going to reuse the wires here. So I'm just going to snip these and we'll reuse the wires. We'll put all these stock screws back in my little magnetic thing here. I'm just looking here. I want to take a measurement here. What are we like? Is it literally like 1.5 millimeters? Before I go down a rabbit hole, I'm going to make sure that it's not just that this duct is not shifted. Where are my screw heads? I like fumble around in the hole here. Are they small heads in there? They shouldn't be. I thought they were the 2 millimeter. Or are they 2.5? Hang on. They're the 2.5. Yeah, they're 2.5. That's why it's just spinning. Now, does this have adjustment, or is this? I thought this locks in. Yeah, I'll have to make a revision to the mount to kick it out just a couple, like 1.5 millimeters. Actually, I'm going to take that measurement right now, and I'll update that. But if you have the 5015 fan kit, it doesn't matter. It's just a stock fan. Today I learned. Yeah, it's literally like 1.5 millimeters. Okay. All right, I gotta make a revision to that mount. Version 2 to accommodate the stock fan. That's funny. That means that nobody else noticed that until me finding out right now, because everybody's using the aftermarket cooler on it. That's funny. Because with the stock fan out of the way, the mount bolts up just fine. All right. I gotta move you guys over here. Ba-ba-ba. Okay. The other thing too I like about the 5015 duct on these is you can actually see the nozzle. Whereas a stock one, good luck trying to see the damn nozzle. Make sure these are nice and tight in here. All right. Let's see. I was looking at the mount too, and I don't know if the nuts on the NG Lite are slightly larger than the ones on the NG. I might have to make a revision live here for the new sensors here. We're gonna find out. I think we'll probably be okay though. Looking at it, let's find out here. Nah, it's good. Okay. It is a tight fit, but it'll do. That'll do, don't you? That'll do. All right. Should be good right about there. The nuts on there. Now on the since this does have the metal nuts, whereas the other one has plastic ones, you can use Loctite on the metal sensor nuts. Do not use Loctite on plastic ones because Loctite likes to kill the plastic nuts. We found out. All right. She's a little bit thicker than the stock sensor, but you know what? Sometimes bigger is better. And with how damn heavy this hot end is already, it doesn't really matter. All right. Let me get this out of here, and let's do the little solder connectors here. Let's get the fan wires wired up here for the 5015. All right, so we carry the big assortment here. We also carry just the tiny little ones here that I'm going to use for less than $2 for 5. I think it's like $1.49 or something like that. So I'm a big fan of these. The trick is, and I hated these for a while because I always saw people using them and it looked like shit. And I found out the reason it looked like shit is because people were using them with lighters, and you're not supposed to use them with lighters. You're supposed to use them with a heat gun at a specific temperature, which is why I got the heat guns in, is so we have the correct tool to go with the heat seals or quick solder seals. Call them quick solder connectors. They're called solder seals, whatever. There's a billion different names for them. All right. Yeah, clear nail polish does work well. That's a good idea. I don't know if we have any in the house. Krista probably has some. I certainly don't have some. All right. Put my little quick solder connectors on here. I feel so dirty using these because it's like way too easy compared to soldering and heat shrinking. But for little stuff like this, it's fantastic. Like I said, just make sure you use them correctly. I am going to be posting a video on how to actually use these correctly with a regular heat gun. I already have it recorded. I just have to edit it. All right, so hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing here. Let me adjust my focus here. All right, so I mechanically twisted these together. I'm going to slide the little connector back over it and make sure that the wire where we're going to be joining is lined up with the little silver ring there. So move this wire out of the way. I'm going to set my little hot air to 250. And we're just going to move back and forth here, heating her up. These ends closed up here. And I'm going to get that solder seal all nice and hot so it flows in. And this is the key here. If you don't get this to melt, then it's not going to actually flow correctly, and you won't get a good join. Okay? Now I find it takes a second, and then all of a sudden you'll start seeing it flow. There we go. And you can also bump the heat up. I might bump the heat up a tiny bit. Because you also don't want to go too hot and then burn everything. So I just went up by 50 degrees. So we're at 300 right now. There we go. We're getting all melty now. Go back and forth, make sure this whole thing is heat shrunk. That soldering is all nice and melted. It's all uniform. I don't see any bulge left from it. All right, then we'll do the other one. Okay. Cool. Slide this over. Will that work with cigars, the heat gun? Probably not. It's supposed to get up to like 480. It gets hot. But probably not hot enough to get a nice toast on the foot of a cigar. All right. Let's go ahead and get that going. Preheating up. All right. We're almost at temp here. Okay. Primo, chill. All right, I'm gonna let that chill. And we're gonna get the 5015 duct mounted up. Let me move my tools around here so I don't send them into space. Honestly, I might. You know what I'm gonna do? Actually, I'm gonna do it right now. I'm gonna add those little solder seals onto the SV06 5015 kit. Because they're a separate SKU and the kit is just a bundle. I'm going to add that on. Yeah, that's actually a good point. This does prevent solder fumes. There's 0 fumes using these. It's out of convenience and they work really well. As long as you actually use a heat gun and you're not using a lighter, they solder up really clean. You get your solder and your heat shrink all in one go. And these are adhesive line heat shrink. So, yeah. All right. Yeah, they do kind of look like weird because they're not, they're white and what's it called? They're white and clear, but I'm about function over over appearance, to be completely honest. So let me see. I'm going to add that onto the layer fan kit. So now it'll raise the price a whole $1 something. But now they're just included. There we go. So now when people order the SV06 kit for the fan kit, it will just come with that. So raise it a whole $1.75. Oh man. I think that's worth it, and that way people have them. Because I had one guy that was complaining about having to solder or twist the wires. I was like, well, we're coming out with these quick solder connectors. I was like, I don't have them now, but I hear you guys. And like I said, as somebody that knows how to solder really well, I'm not gonna lie, I like using these quick connectors. It's so much more convenient. So, like I said, just if you use them, make sure you go ahead and use a heat gun. Do not use a lighter because you'll burn the shit out of them. The only time I would ever use a lighter on them is if you like are using them on the side of the road and you're trying to fix a wire for something, and that's about it. But they're meant to be used with um, a controlled heat setting. So, but I mean, even my cheap like Harbor Freight hot air gun worked really well with them. I like this better though because I can actually focus the tip. All right. Where's my duct? I just had my duct. Here we go. Yeah, I see Kyle saying, I suck at soldering. Yeah, some people just suck at soldering too. That's why I said, screw it. All right, so on this one, we got a couple different M3 screw lengths. We want the two longer ones for the two longer ones with the two washers for the back. So I got the two washers here. Put those on the M3 bolts. And one thing I will mention is because somebody said they had an issue with the bolt head rubbing on the extrusion on one of theirs, you can take the washer off if it is rubbing. It's just kind of an extra spacer. All right. Put this on here. I'm going to see if this one rubs on this printer here once I tighten this down. We're going to rub. Just a tiny bit, so I'm going to take that washer out of this side. All right. Yeah, we're good now. Okay. So I'm going to leave this loose so I can adjust the fan duct on here. I want to go ahead and drop the little M3 nut in the little retainer here. And then we're going to put that through. Leave the washer on there. Hopefully I'm remembering how to put my own kit here together. That's been a couple months. There we go. Okay. I just want to loosen that up so I can adjust the duct vertically. So basically I want to be able to move this up and down so I can adjust the duct on the bottom there. All right, so I'm going to put the 50-15 fan in here. Go ahead and put the M4 bolt through the top here. And then the M4 nut goes on the other side. Oh, it fell. Where's my, I think it's 2.5 on these. Yep. Okay, so I want to, before I lock all this in, I want to make sure that I have this at the correct height. And we want it to be centered. So side to side, I got that where I want it. Dogs, why are you making messed up noises? Comet, where are you? Lay down. Come on. Why are you looking guilty? These dogs are driving me nuts today. All right, hang on. I go see if he did something bad. He was a pain yesterday. Go lay down. Come on. Come here. Why are you looking guilty? Go lay down. What do you have in your mouth? You were bad, weren't you? What did we chew up? I'll find out later. They're being such a pain this week. Okay. Get that in there. That in there. Okay. So now I need to set the height here. We want this just a little bit higher than the nozzle. I'll line it up actually right around the same spot that I got the ABL sensor. Tighten this one down. That'll lock that in. I'm going to tighten this one down. Oh, I'm an idiot, aren't I? No. Hang on. Yeah, I am. I was supposed to put this screw head on this side. I was like, wait, I'm doing something wrong here. Come on. Oh my God. Okay, let's try that again. It's late. I need more caffeine. Okay. Going on there. Let's go ahead and tighten this down. And grab that with my pliers here. There we go. Now you plug this in. Come back around the front. And then I got to wire up the, what's the word I'm looking for? Now wire up the ABL kit and switch the board out. Okay. Where's my tiny little header? It's right here. I typically will use like pliers or tweezers to get up in here because my fat hands make it very hard to get this tiny little plug in. It's also kind of hard to see. There we go. Need to have a drink. Can't be drinking on the job here. I'm working on a customer printer, not mine. And then usually what I'll do is I'll just take the extra wire and stash it back here. Just with a little zip tie here. So grab a little zip tie. I'll be honest, I don't find crimping fun. I find it very, I think cathartic would be the right word there. Somebody said it, not me. There we go. Just want to get it up and out of the way. All right. Okay, so let's get the cable ran for the ABL sensor. We're just going to follow back the ribbon cable here. I just realized though this is going to make shipping kind of a pain because I'm going to have to undo the sensor cable, but I think I can figure out how to do that. We'll see. I can always just cut the zip ties. I think Eli can handle putting the zip ties back on. What do you think, Eli? I'll send some extra zip ties here so you can hook it all back up. It just needs to loosely follow the factory cable back. But we'll just throw a couple on here because I'm probably going to have to disconnect this. Actually, you know, I should be able to slide the connector back out. If I set this up correctly, I should be able to still make this be able to be removed fairly easily by just sliding the wire. Let's see if I can do that. Let's see if I can slide the connector out from underneath here without even cutting the zip ties. Or am I overthinking this? Yeah, you can put the zip ties back on. I'll just send you some extra zip ties in the box. You can put them back on. I'm overthinking it. All right. So I got what, 4 on here? I'll probably have 5 total when it's all said and done. And then I'm gonna make it so I think I have my sensor cable going into my control box, but I'm gonna have yours just go out here so we can easily disconnect this. All right. But I don't like running the cable just kind of willy-nilly, um, even if I'm just temporarily setting it up because I don't want it getting caught. All right. Let's get in the control box. This size, I think next size down. No, pink one. It's the pink one, isn't it? Yeah, it's the pink one. All right. Let's get this knockoff CPU out of here. Okay. We got the control box fan here. You know what? I'm going to use my trusty new heat gun. And I'm going to set this low, like 150. So you can just adjust it. Do. I'm going to use this to soften up the hot glue. Oh, beautiful. Okay, 150 works pretty good for softening up hot glue. Perfecto. Okay. Got a couple more here to disconnect. Come on. Stock ABL plug. It's got a lot of hot glue on it. Mhm. I am going to actually have to look at our documentation because I can't remember the orientation that the stock filament sensor goes on this, but I know we have it documented. I think it's got one more. Yep, one more up here. I don't know how much of a pain this control box was. Come on. There it is. Okay. Power wires out of here. There we go. It remelted. Okay. All right, I just need my 2mm here. Is this 2? Yep. 2mm to unscrew the stock board. Oh wait, no. 2.5. I'm thinking of the Creality boards. Is that a GD? Yeah, it's a GD chip. I'm gonna take the SD card out here. I believe we should have 4 screws in here. Why am I blanking? Where's the other one? Oh, it's up here, isn't it? Yep, it's up here in the top corner. Hiding beneath the cables. Is there 4 or is there 3? No, there's a 4th one. Question is, where is it? Why am I blind tonight? Oh, down here. I was like, what the hell? Like, I pulled these boards out of this machine before on the plus and the regular. So there we go. There's the old Giga Device board here with all its hot, melty goodness. All right. I put some nice, shiny, new easy board of it too. All right. We will need to open up the remember, it's got we're going to a mini USB port, which is a little bit larger than the micro that they have on here. But our board uses the mini. Where's my? Oh, here it is. I was like, where's my? Oh wait, I used a file on the last one. That worked way better because it was nice and clean, much cleaner of a hole than. We're gonna do that again. Here's my well, I had a rectangular one, but this one has a flat side, so. Gonna take a little bit off of the plastic here. All right. There we go. So just widen that up a little bit. That's when I put the board in. They'll line right up. Yeah. Let me just double check. Where's my, I know I have a mini USB sitting here somewhere in one of my drawers. Here we go. Make sure that passes through into there. Yep, we're good. Perfect. Okay. So now we put the screws back in. Yeah, that's like probably the hardest part about switching the board on this is just filing that hole. Making it a little bigger so the USB port can go in. Other than that, it's fairly a non-eventful install. Or uneventful install, I should say. I don't know why I said non-eventful. It doesn't make much sense. I have many cables, Eli. I can send one with the printer. It's not a big deal. We carry those. They're only a couple bucks. I carry 3-footers. All right. Oh, hang on. I hope I have one. I forgot. With this printer has that what's the word I'm looking for? since it has that stock sensor, it doesn't have a Z end stop cable. I need to provide one. Do I have a 2-pin here? I really don't want to go back out to the shop. Do it. Please tell me I should have a 2-pin floating around here. Hang on, I got this. Okay. Where's my second here? Do. Okay. We make our own. It's free. Okay. All right, I got a little 2-pin here. So this is why I keep the random 2-pin connectors and 3-pin cutoffs I have, because for little odds and ends, they're great. And I save Eli like $5, not having to use a cable. All right, so where's my Z stop? Z stop right here. Z stop. This is the bed that goes to B temp. B temp. You got K fan, which goes to fan 1. Oh yeah, I think all I did was I cross-referenced. So if you guys are switching the board out, if you look on the bottom of your Soval board here for the filament sensor on the SV06 Plus, you can see here you've got the 3-pin, and it plugs into 3-pin sensor cable plugs into this. So you got VGS, voltage grounded signal. So when we're looking at this, the label here, DET, is on the S pin. So that needs to go to the signal pin on my filament sensor header here. And then everything else will line up. So there we go. So I'm going to take a photo of that. I feel like I already took a photo of that. Did I already put this in our documentation? I might have. I'm going to take a photo of that just in case I didn't. I feel like I did, but my memory is not great. That's why I write everything down. So there we go. No, I don't mind doing this. I like working on these printers here. I'm glad I can make things a little bit easier for people. Like this is my full-time job, but I do enjoy doing this stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, there's sometimes when I want to take a printer and throw it through the window. However, I do get satisfaction in helping other people get their shit in order. Because usually their shit, when it's messed up, is a lot easier to fix than my shit when it's messed up. Because if my stuff's messed up, it's usually because it's some weird, complicated issue, and it's never fun to fix. So, all right. Yeah, like I was thinking, like if we sold printers, like basically what I'd be shipping to Eli here is like what I would sell an SV06 or SV06 Plus is, like all ready to go. You know what I mean? All right, so TH, which is the hot end thermistor. DET, that's not used. This is not used. This is the fan, and that's the hot end. Okay. So these two guys here, I'm gonna leave these on yours. I cut them off of mine because I'm never gonna use them. But that's my printer. And this is not my printer, so I'm not gonna do that. Just in case you end up needing them. Because I'm gonna give you all your original hardware back anyways. I don't need it. I've got so much crap here. All right, so HN, the positive and negative do matter. Where's my little flathead? I have like this random little tiny flathead screwdriver. I don't even know where it came from, but I use it all the time. It's like my terminal screwdriver. I just use it for screw terminals. That's all I use it for. Because it's easier sometimes than having to switch the bit out of my screwdriver set. All right. And hopefully then when you get this back, you can just start printing instead of having to screw with the damn thing because basically everything's already done. I can back these out a little bit. For the bed. Arrows are like a weird shape on here. They're not wanting to go in my terminals. Oh, they like crimp these weird. Mm. Those again. Go in now. There it goes. Yeah, it's like whatever crimper they use, like crimped it like oblongly. I don't know what the word I'm looking for. It like wasn't square. It was like a diamond shape, and it wasn't want to go in the terminal. I was like, I put both my SV06 and my Plus here. Both have our board in it, and both of them. There's trade-offs. I've talked about this too. You guys know I'm not a fan of the bamboos, mainly because of the cloud crap and privacy concerns. But like the thing is, like printers like these, you'll be able to fix them and work on them and upgrade them and tinker with them for years from now. Like, even if like we went tits up, tomorrow, you can still use our board with Marlin or Clipper or whatever, like. Whereas bamboo, if bamboo goes tits up, you're pretty much screwed. Like that's it. Good luck getting parts. You won't be getting software updates. If there's a bug or something or stuff that needs the phone home, you're SOL. You guys are gonna laugh at me, but I gotta check the polarity. On the input, I can't remember. Looking at my other board here. Positive is on the left. Okay. I thought that was it, but I don't like guessing because then things go poof if you guess with polarity. It's not a good end result. Right now. Oh, and I just realized I'm gonna have to put a power wire in here for the ABL kit. On the I usually run off the fan header. Or the fan terminal, not the header, it's the terminal. Say fan header would not be a good one. Because if the fan's not on, the ABL kit ain't getting no power. All right. Last piece is the Anchor. Yeah, Consumer World versus Tinkerer. I mean, I'm holding off as long as I can. Forgot I have a knockoff monster sitting here from Aldi. Come here, wire strippers. I'm gonna run the ABL power. Yeah. Also, because I know some people, you guys don't heed my warnings about the cloud, and you buy them anyways, which I get it. Buy whatever you like; it's your money. How many people would be interested in us carrying flex plates though for the bamboo? Because I have had some people asking us, and if you guys notice, we have the new pro plates, but we still have some of the old Easy Flex 2 single-sided plates. And I'm going to be putting an order in for magnets and plates in other sizes. And I was wondering if we should get the bamboo stuff made for like the double-sided black PEI. Because I was actually talking to our manufacturer, and they already made like they have the design files and stuff already, so that saves me some time. And they have the QR codes that work well with that type of texture that we're using. So, and I was looking at like I'm not a big fan of them because he's sleazy when it comes to his marketing stuff. But the Wham Bam guy, they're charging like $60 for a freaking bamboo flex plate. Like, and the funny thing is, he gets his plates made in the same factory that we do, but he charges so much more. It's nuts. Yeah, because I think we can come in at like 30 something bucks for a um double sided black PEI plate on those. Like 35 tops. Like it's a shipping that really brings the price up. But all right, enough yammering. Like, would that be a good price? Like 30, let's say 35 worst case scenario. I got to find out what our pricing would be. I'm just estimating based on what we paid for the 235s. And our 235s are retailing at 29 bucks. The bamboo plates are only a little bit bigger than that. So I'm assuming they're going to be 35 tops retail. So like if we came to market like 30 to 35 bucks, is that something that's competitive and something people would buy for a good quality plate for the P1 and the X1 series? Because if so, I'm probably gonna order some. All right. Yeah, like it's the funny thing is I don't know many people notice. So like when the Wham Bam guy started, um, I'm just gonna say because I really don't care. I don't like the guy. He's a marketing guy, so he's buzzwords and marketing wank. I don't like marketing wank. I don't like people that are like super like used car salesman type people. That's what the guy Peter who owns Wham Bam rubs me as. Um, but my original annoyance with him came from when he was starting the company. Um, he talked shit about our supplier that we used and we've been using for years. We were one of the first companies to use the supplier we are and still are. And now he's using them. And two, he spammed the shit out of all of our Facebook groups and stuff that we ran, and then got pissed off because we banned him because he just posted the stuff. And the thing was, the rules were if you wanted to post marketing stuff in the groups, you had to be active and actually participate. And you can't just be using the groups for sales stuff, because like we helped out in our own groups and the Creality groups, like we weren't just using them to hawk our wares. We did advertise, but that wasn't the only thing we were doing in there. And then when we banned him, he had his like wife or whoever, I don't know if it's wife or girlfriend or something, the lady he's with, start spamming, and we banned her. And then he started incentivizing his customers through giveaways and stuff to then spam the groups too by sharing their Kickstarter. So like he really pissed off myself and a bunch of other people that run Facebook groups for 3D printing because he just didn't care. He didn't show any respect for the groups. He didn't help out at all. He literally just used them to spam his crap, and then had the audacity to get pissy with us when we banned him and told him we banned him because he was just using them to spam crap. Like, so that's why. Those are many reasons why I'm not a fan of the guy. So it has nothing to do with us being competitors. It has the fact that he just came in and was just a dick in the groups. Like, you don't come into somebody's group and start spamming your crap when no one knows who you are, And that's where I took issue with him, and he pissed off a lot of people. So, and I'm surprised he's still around, to be completely honest, because he also did like some enclosures, and those were kind of a flop. And then he had like $30 silicone mats that he used, was having all these like lies about, oh, it's the super premium silicone. There's a video I did on it, and they were no better than the cheap mats you can get on Amazon, but it was all just marketing wink and lies again. He's just kind of a used car salesman type guy, and I don't like those types. Like just sell your stuff, and don't lie about it. Don't make it sound like it's a super special thing. Um, and make up terms and then act like these terms are actual like um specification instead of just your marketing wink. I don't know. I'm just rambling, I think, while I'm doing these wires here. So I'm connecting the power wires to the ABL kit right now. Oh, it might help if I unscrew the screw terminal so I can get the wires in. Like, why are my wires not going into my screw terminal? Because I didn't unscrew them. So let the wire in. Because by default, they come screwed in from the factory. So the screws don't fall out. All right. So there's a power wire. This strain relief is not normal. He put this on here. I mean, it actually looks pretty good. I might leave this on here. I'm just gonna put new zip ties on it because these zip ties are just really, these are really thin and kind of janky. So I'm gonna put my own zip ties on here because I've got really nice nylon zip ties that we use. How about the good shit, man? We don't even cheap out on our zip ties either. We buy good nylon stuff at this place that's, I think they're out of Wisconsin where we buy them from. We buy them by the thousands because we include them with a bunch of stuff. Yeah, we'll leave a little strain relief upgrade on here. It just needs to be properly put on here. I just noticed that this bed is insulated. I don't know if mine was insulated. Maybe I just didn't notice. All right. Just gonna run the Z-stop signal here, which we're gonna come in and just go right into here. Put some ferrules on here. I just made my own Z-stop cable since this printer doesn't have one. We do sell pre-made Z-stop cables, but I didn't feel like going back out to the shop, so I'm just making my own here for them. I put little crimp ferrules on here. Let's see, because this is stranded wire. Where's my crimp ferrules? I just had them. Oh, they're on my desk still. I was like, I know I saw them earlier today. Little white ones should be able to fit these tiny wires. Let's see if this will fit in the terminals. I might just have to put the bare wires in here. They gonna fit in my tiny little terminal? Oh, they will. Fuck yeah. Cool. And I'll put it on the other one. Make sure that crimp down there. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. That's the trick, right? You gotta like when you're tying down a load on the truck, you gotta slap it and say it's not going anywhere. Because if you don't, then it's gonna go somewhere. That's how the universe works. Actually, we're almost done here. I just gotta plug the sensor in and then update the firmware. We'll see how she runs. Sorry, my head's in the way. All right. Cool. So Eli, the sensor just plugs in down here. It will have extra slack, but sensor just plugs in down here. So this will get disconnected and it'll plug in down here. I like stashing it out of the way. All right. Double check, but we should be good to power up now. The new board in there. Get all the cables out of the way here. Okay. Oh yeah, go to touch. I'm so used to being able to touch the sensors because our regular easy ABLs are capacitive, so they detect your finger. These we have to use metal. So there we go. We're lighting up. All right. Let me go ahead and build the firmware here. And I'm going to use our easy firmware site. Any chance you can change the buzzer on the LCD for a speaker and do custom tunes? I don't know. You can do custom tunes. It's funny you mention that because I was actually messing with custom tunes today. All right, so this is one of the big things if you guys hate doing firmware. It does not get easier than this. I don't know of a way that gets easier than this. So we have here our easy firmware site. And so for this printer, I'm going to tell it I got a SV06 Plus. I'm going to tell it I have an easy ABL. And then I'm going to put the easy ABL OEM mount here. We're going to super fast probing. Probe edge, we do 15. I got to update this. So our firmware default is actually 15 now. I got to update the website to 35. All right, so that should be good. I don't think we have any other. We got stock. We can leave that there. Stock hot end. All right. We're going to tell it we're not a robot. I'm going to call this Eli SV06 Plus. And I'm going to submit this. So now this is going to build the firmware. So it'll build the firmware. It's going to automatically do this. And this is actually compiling on my server here. Yeah, no, I have not been able to actually track down any instances where we get drift with temperature with any of the sensors we have. Like when I first started doing stuff before TH3D was a thing, we were using like off the shelf sensors because that's all I could get at the time. We weren't big enough to get custom stuff made, and those had a little bit. But we were able to get stuff custom made so it doesn't drift. All right, so let me go back to this share. We're going to go ahead and pop the SD card out. I'm going to turn off the printer, pop the SD card in, and we should update the firmware then. My filament spool almost ran away. That would have been bad. And now all of the NG sensors, so our EasyABL NG series, all of them come pre-calibrated, so you don't have to do any calibration. The lights actually don't have any calibration screw. They come pre-calibrated. So I am going to do my little test here. So this is how I check to see if the little switch on our ABL control board needs to be flipped or not, is I just move the Z up. I tell this to go auto home. And then for the NG light, you can't use your finger, so you just got to use something metal. So you see it stopped, so it's good. I'm going to go ahead and just do a home again. And just to be on the safe side, because I want to see if I got to change the mounting distance, I'm going to put something metal under here so the sensor reads it before the nozzle touches. I think we'll be good. I'm pretty good at eyeballing the sensor heights at this point. So basically, we want to see that light turn on before the nozzle touches the bed, and we're plenty distance. We're like right about 5 millimeters. I might actually move this sensor up in the mount a little bit. I really tightened that down, didn't I? Where's my pliers? Oh, I was like, why am I feeling air? Because the fan, I forgot, blows this way. I was like, why am I feeling air coming through there? All right. There we go. Just want to get a little more height between the sensor and the bed. Because the reason we do that is we don't want the sensor hitting your prints. That would not be good. The sensor will survive. Your prints won't, though. All right. So again, we want to make sure the light turns on before the nozzle touches the bed. We're good. All right, let's see. Get our gantry leveled out since we're messing with shit. All right, let's auto home. And I'm going to do M48 on here. Just make sure everything's going good. Whoop. Yep, 0.004. We're good. Okay. Let's go ahead and preheat this. Oh, I'm going to check the fan, make sure the fan works after I splice it. 100%. Yep. Oh, yeah, she's chooching. All right, do I still have that test benchy on my SD card? I do. All right. We're going to print that. We're going to see how it comes out. Yeah, so I see people messing with bearings on the Solvals. Is somebody that messed with bearings on my ANET A8. I had IGUS at one point, and it ended up being more problems than it was worth, to be completely honest. And the cheap linear bearings that come with these printers are fine. You're not going to see much of a difference upgrading them. Yeah. What's going on here? Hang on. Sorry, I need to catch up on chat here. I can run an input shaping test here. I gotta turn it on. I gotta turn it on the what's the word I'm looking for? I gotta turn on the firmware. I didn't turn it on when I did the compile here. Oh, also here. So my Sierra 10S Pro that I upgraded with the 0.6 nozzle in our multi-mount setup, this came off of that today. This was 100mm test print, 0.2 layer height. It's printing real nice. I like that. I'm very happy with how that's printing now. And that's got an easy board in it too. I'm very happy. I'm also running input shaping on there. This is Polymaker black PLA. They're Polylite, which we carry. We carry. Oh, sorry. I'm probably gonna wrap this up after this print starts or this print goes, because I have been getting up earlier. So I'll have it run an input shaping test before I go to bed, so it's done in the morning. Then I can measure it. And the thing is, too, technically, when I take it apart and pack it back up, it's going to change a little bit, but is it going to change enough where it really matters? Probably not. But I'm just going to be honest with you. You might have to run it again when you get it back, but it'll still be better than not running it, if that makes sense. We're just waiting for the bed to heat up. It's almost there. Hot ends at temp. Yeah, I've been dragging ass today, and I don't know why. I'm sorry I'm yawning so much. Yeah, I'm used to, like, I used to, I'm 34, and I'll be 35 in January. Um, I used to be like able to get up like, early and stay up late. I can't do it anymore, man. I can't do it. And I'm not even that old. Bed's almost there. Mm. I mean, I see people saying they tinker with their printers. I mean, I run like 30 plus machines, and I tinker with other people's printers more than I tinker with mine. Mine run. And when something breaks, I fix it. And I keep running them until they break again. I actually have one printer of my own that's down right now. And it's just because of the hot end. I got to put a new fan on it. The one that came with the Mosquito Magnum took a shit. So as you can see, the Easy ABL Light works fine on a metal bid. Yeah, my printers are run commercially for the most part, yes. What printer's most hours on it? Probably me, either my AM8 or my Ender 3 Pro. They both have a lot. All right. And we got a ways to go. I gotta really spin this knob. Because I think our detection distance on the light is like 5 millimeters, so it will have a larger offset than the regular NG18. All right. Yeah, we're like negative 4.6. And here's the thing, if you're getting good M48 tests, your offset really doesn't matter, and it will vary by your printer setup. So like my offset will be different from your offset depending on how everything is set up. All right, I'll go ahead and store the EEPROM. And we're gonna let that run. I'm gonna zoom in here. And the first thing you'll notice is you can actually see a decent amount of the print thanks to the new duct setup. The sensor is in the way, but you can see a lot more of the print now. I use Prusa Slicer. I used to be a big Simplify 3D person, but I jumped ship when I saw how horrible V5 was and how expensive it was. And honestly, I don't miss it. I really don't. Once I took the time to learn Prusa Slicer and got my profiles dialed in, don't miss it at all. It's a shame because I don't mind paying for a slicer, but it's kind of hard to justify paying like $200 for a slicer. Sorry, when the free ones do the job better. And I think the last thing I'll do before I ship this back to Eli is I'll take the extruder apart and just make sure the grub screws are all good. I'll probably put some Loctite on there. So the thing with Orca, so here's my logic with the slicer. So I know people that use Orca. Orca is like some random guy that's doing the slicer. Now I was using Super Slicer for a little bit. And then the guy just decided to stop doing Super Slicer. So I got invested into a slicer, and then the guy running the project just abandoned it. So I put my eggs in the Prusa Slicer basket because I figured as long as Prusa is still in business, Prusa Slicer will keep getting updates. So I'm pretty safe to go in on that slicer and not have to worry about it being killed off anytime soon. So Cura, I just don't like how Cura's workflow is. It's just, I've never liked it. They change stuff too much all the time. I'm not a big fan of like all the different changes and stuff. Um, like so this file that I'm printing here, this was sliced with Prusa slicer. I can send you my my profile if you want, Eli. I'm not saying it's the best profile, but I get good quality prints out of it. Yeah, so Orca slicer is a fork of bamboo slicer, which is a fork of Prusa slicer, and Prusa slicer is actually a fork of Slick 3R. So, so PETG. Here's the thing with PETG. Your key to getting success with PETG is print it hot, like 245 to 250. I found hot. Some people will be like, "That's really hot." I've had really good success printing PETG at like 245 to 250. Which means you should probably run an all metal hot end or have something like our tough tube in your hot end if it's PTFE line, um, so it'll hold up to the temperatures. If you run out of stock PTFE hot end, you're going to burn that tube up quick. But quick travel moves between moves. So for PETG, your key to not getting a ton of stringing is having the travel moves being really fast, like 120 millimeters a second, so you don't give it the opportunity to string. And then use a little bit of cooling fan, not a ton, but a little bit of cooling fan. So not 100%, like 30 to 40, depending on your cooling setup. And then the other thing is, for PETG, dry it. If you're getting a lot of stringing, you're getting like steam coming out of the hot end, if it's really bad, or like little bubbles and cracks, put in a food dehydrator or filament dryer. I've got a whole article on our website about using a food dehydrator, which is what I use. I have a big food dehydrator I use for drying filament. Dry the PETG. PETG, when it's dry and it's good quality PETG, will print basically like PLA with hotter print temps. So, but I can tell you right now, the biggest mistake you can make when doing PETG is buying really crappy, cheap PETG. If you want a really good PETG, I am not affiliated with them. I do know the guy who used to own it, but Atomic Filament out of Indiana, they're about an hour and a half from us. They make really good PETG. They're probably the best PETG I've printed. It just prints. I don't have to fight with it. I literally use my PLA settings with their PETG. And just up the print temp and the bed temp. I use ADC bed temp and usually like 245 on the nozzle. The thing is, I've had a lot of bad luck with just random brands off Amazon. Overture's been okay, Duramic's been okay, but it doesn't print as nice as the other stuff. And like I said, if you're just learning, and this is with any film in general, like try to stay away from the super cheap filaments, especially if you're learning, because a lot of the problems you'll encounter with the cheap filaments is stuff that you'll think is your printer or slicer setting, and you'll be fighting with it, and it ends up being just really crappy filament. And there's unfortunately a lot of cheap, crappy filament out there. I've been printing for almost 8 years now, and the thing I've noticed is you'll get like a Chinese company, they come out of nowhere, they release some good filament for a good price, and then once they get popular, they change the formula to make it cheaper, and then they just ride off of those old positive reviews. And then basically the old positive reviews drawn up the new ones saying that it's garbage. They a lot of Chinese companies do that a lot. It's literally like a marketing strategy they use. So yeah, I saw that Voxel company being pushed. And their prices aren't super cheap, but again, like I'd be curious about consistency. There's a lot of like filaments, like a lot of snake oil scammy type companies. Like there was that New Makers company, which is trying to get, I should check and see. They are trying to get our video taken down because they were claiming that they were made in the US when they were not. And they were trying to say that the picture that we posted of a website, like a screenshot of a website that's public information showing that they were importing their filament from India, is a privacy violation. They're trying to silence us, basically. So don't buy New Makers. They're scummy pieces of shit. The video's still up. So, yeah. But Polymaker's like my go-to for cheaper filaments. We sell Polymaker. I wouldn't be selling it if I thought it was garbage. Think Polymaker's a good bang for the buck. They're also an awesome company. They had Sean's back during all the 3D print general stuff. And they make good plastics. So what's not to like there? Yeah, I saw. Well, Voxel with CNC Kitchen, they paid him to promote their filament, so you got to be careful with that, And like we obviously promote our own stuff, but here's the thing: if I promote something that's garbage that we sell, I'm the one that's on the hook for supporting it and warranting it. Whereas all these guys that do the affiliate stuff, um, they get paid whether you have a good experience or not. So I have to sell good stuff because I don't want to be dealing with a bunch of pissed off customers. Yeah, it's coming out good. I'm gonna let this go. I did slice this at 80. How far are we? We're like 13 minutes in. It's coming out good. So this is Polymaker. I'm printing with Polymaker's. This is Loyal Moses' PLA Pro. I do actually really like this color, and it's weird because I'm not a big fan of greens, but I do like this filament. But it does print really well. So Bruno says, I'm a sucker for mosquito, but I love to hear Tim's recommendation, Micro Swiss or Dragon, etc. So if you're looking for, like, I'm going to toot my own horn here. If you're looking for a like very budget friendly but upgradable hot end, we have our tough hot ends, which are a V6 design. We also sell the Volcano high flow upgrade kits for them. That is what I use on a lot of printers here. That's what I'm putting on this giant thing here. Slice does make good hot ends. I have a Slice Mosquito Magnum on my Ender 5 Plus, which is back here. Would I buy it again? I probably wouldn't because I think they're really expensive. The only way I can see buying them is if you absolutely need the super high temps. I bought it just because I wanted to try it out, but I'm not using it hot into its fullest potential. That being said, the only problem I've had with it is the fan die that came with it. They just sent a really cheap Chinese fan. But like I don't think the mosquito is really worth the money for somebody that's not doing super high temp printing, including someone like myself. They're nice, they're gorgeous, they're a US company, they're made in the US. They're good people. But just being honest, like they're really expensive for what they are, and most people won't take advantage of it. Micro Swiss is good for if you want to drop in replacement. We are Micro Swiss reseller. I'm just going to put that out there. We don't sell just their hot ends anymore because they just weren't selling very well. They're good, but they just weren't selling very well. Me personally, if you want to upgrade your stock Creality hot end to an all metal, you just change out the heat break, which we also carry. I think you get better bang for the buck with that. But we do carry their NG extruders, and if you're looking for an easy way to go direct drive on your Creality machines, the NG extruders are a good option for that. But like, it's hard to beat our tough hot end in terms of a good all metal hot end. It's under $30, and that includes the heaters, it includes the fans, it includes 4 nozzles. It's an actual all metal heat break. We include a lot of stuff for that. Like whereas Slice, they nickel and dime you on every little damn thing. You got to buy the thermistor separate. You got to buy the heater cartridge separate. I think they just started including a single nozzle, but they like charge you for every little thing. Like they didn't even include thermal paste with the hot end. I'm just going to plug our own stuff our way into this because it is a really good value. And the V6 is an older design hot end, but it works. It just fucking works. So I went to the wrong page apparently somehow. Actually, let me fix this because this page should actually redirect to another page here. I don't know why it's showing the back end one here. Hang on one second. Let me fix this because we do bundles. So like there's these weird pages here. So this should actually redirect to this page here, which is like the main page. Let's see if I can fix that here. Let's see. Does that work? There we go. Okay. So for $28, you get the whole hot end. So you got the PTFE fitting, you're using direct drive or Bowden, heatsink, heat break, heater block, and 4 nozzles. You get 2 320C thermistors, a 12 volt and a 24 volt heater cartridge, 12 volt and 24 volt fan, steel heat break, 0.4, 0.6 brass and steel nozzles, the PTF fitting, the block, the little shroud for the fan, all for $27. So you get a true all metal hot end, You get thermal paste included, and we do have socks for it. So you can add on socks for $9, pack of 3. You can also go up to a 50-watt heater cartridge if you want. We also have titanium heat breaks if you want to go even fancier. We also have PTFE heat breaks if you like using PTFE. Some people don't like using all metal. We do have an option to go to PTFE. And we also have the high flow kit, which also includes a 0.4, 0.6, 0.8, and a 1.0, along with 2 more high temp thermistors and a 12 and 24 volt heater cartridge. This is really hard to beat. And these are really good quality hot ends. We source a lot of the parts separately and put them into a package ourselves. Like, I get the heat breaks from one vendor, I get the nozzles from another vendor, I get the heater cartridges and the thermistors from another one, and we put it together in a package. So this is really hard to beat in terms of a cheap all metal hot end with a ton of stuff. That's why we haven't stopped selling it. It's just a really good deal for a solid hot end. Is it the best hot end out there? No. It's a really good deal on an all metal hot end. Also, because it takes the V6 nozzles, we carry a ton of nozzles for it. Bondtech makes nozzles for it. Microswiss makes nozzles for it. The V6 nozzles standard is made by tons of different companies. If you go to the high flow upgrade kit, then it'll take any volcano nozzle, which we also carry brass and steel and copper plated nozzles, our easy flow nozzles for the volcano and for the V6. So it's an ecosystem that's been around for a while. E3 open sourced the V6 design, which is why we're able to make it. I don't know if they're still selling the V6s. They might. I got to check their website. But they used to sell them for like 70 or 80 bucks. I'm looking here. So 24 volt, they're 53 GBP. So they're like twice the price of ours. So they do still sell the V6. But that's with no, I don't think that's, what does that come with? That's one nozzle, maybe? Hang on, kit includes a heat break heatsink, so one nozzle. I'm looking here, hang on. It comes with a silicone sock. We have those separate. It does not come with a nozzle. So that's 60 bucks without the nozzle. And their nozzles are $4 a piece. So the V6 already has all metal. Yes, the V6, the SV06 and the SV06 Plus actually have all metal hot ends. So I'm trying to figure out what I would do to upgrade the hot end on these, because there's really not that many options. The stock hot end, luckily, on these printers is actually really good. I actually really like the stock hot end on these. So yeah, like the SV06 and the SV06 Plus will print PETG no issue, just because they already have an all metal. I was thinking about, I think Tor already made one of doing a mount for our multi-mount system for the SV06. I really should start stock hot end parts for this printer now that I think about it. I'm gonna make a note of that. Basically heat breakdown, and the thermistors and the heater cartridges for them, as well as the blocks and all that other stuff. I'm gonna add a note here. So stock SV06 and Plus hot end / extruder parts. I'm just gonna put this on here because I can get them. I have a Solval rep I deal with. But yeah, it's printing good. I might have to call it in a sec here. The biggest thing with doing the support for the multi-mount on the SV06, which would not be a bad thing, but it would make it a little bit harder to convert. For me, I could do it, would be ditching the breakout board. There's nothing here. Stop. There's no one here. Stop. Kind of thought he heard something outside. Sorry. Anyways, is like, do we keep the breakout board that's on there, or do we just say, hey, you're going to have to run cables back to your control board? Which in that case, you're not going to be reusing the stock ABL sensor. You'd have to have something else on there, whether that's ours or BL Touch or CR Touch. For me personally, I wouldn't care about getting rid of the stock one. Like, the biggest thing will be like the stepper motor cable. But if you just get a new motor, you know, you could just take the whole hot end off, with the cable and everything, and then just put a whole new assembly on. Because I think the weak point on this printer, once you get some hours on it, I'm dreading when it happens, would be that ribbon cable wearing out, and good luck trying to fix that. Whereas if you were able to just take the whole breakout board off and run wires back to the control box, then that solves that problem of if the ribbon cable or when the ribbon cable fails, you know. It's the printer. He's hearing the printer move and he's thinking someone's here. No. The printer did a move and he thought it was somebody here. Why are you being so stupid tonight? Why? You've heard these things running. Why are you barking at it? I know. Remo's the good boy. Come here. Oh, come here, Remo. Come on. There we go. There's the Remo. There's the Remo making an appearance. He's tired. Can you guys tell? Like, oh, God. Enough. I have my cameras up. There's nobody here. Jesus Christ. Is like speakers playing in my garage? There's no one here. Do you believe me now? There's no one. Jesus. They're so stupid sometimes. This I sliced at 80 millimeters a second. It's probably not hitting that on a lot of spots just because it's a small print. So, oh, you can't hear the bark. I guess NVIDIA. I'm running the microphone through NVIDIA Broadcast. That's probably why you're not hearing. Oh, while we're waiting, I'm gonna plug one more of my things. If you guys like my shirt here, it's in our store. It's Clippy. Please don't sue me, Microsoft. Did you guys know we have shirts? We have like fun 3D printing shirts that I made. We also have hats too. We have snapbacks in all sorts of different colors. I brought these back. I also have a dad hat too. I don't know what happened to it. It's somewhere around the house. Lay down, dummy. I love Comet, but dear God, is he dumb sometimes. Yeah, the shirts, basically anything in. Oh no, I just dropped my bits and stuff. The shirts and the hats and stuff are the only thing we don't directly ship on our store. Those are made to order. We drop ship those because I'm not a clothing company, and stocking a billion different shirt designs in a billion different sizes would be a huge pain in the ass. So actually, since we're waiting for this to finish, I'm gonna go and browse through our shirts. He's a golden. What do you expect? I didn't get him because they were smart. I got him because he was supposed. They're just good dogs. We had a golden growing up, but dear God, compared to the German Shepherd, he's pretty dumb. There we go. Here's our merch. Yeah. So this is sorted by popularity. I'm just gonna sort by like how new it is. There we go. So we got resistance is futile, just the tip. We got the paperclip leveling. That's what it's called, paperclip leveling. It'd be funny if I was wearing this one. Yeah, I'm just gonna open all these up. We got a couple of them. Wee! R.I.P. my browser. We even got socks. The stickers do actually ship from us. Let me see. Do I need to? Yeah, there we go. So there we go. Resistance is futile. Do you get it? It's a little schematic joke. Yep, just the tip. I have this one. I get a lot of funny looks in public when I wear this, but I've also met people that are into 3D printing when they see this and they're like, that's good. Here's one I'm wearing right now. All these shirts too have like the all the shirts too have the TH3D logo. Well, aside from our logo shirt, they all have TH3D on the sleeve there. It's a little subtle. Here, no, I'll not fix your 3D printer. How funny would it be if I was wearing this while I was doing a stream where I'm fixing someone's printer? Can I slap a sticker on there? If I have one on my desk, I will. I'll grab one when I go out to the shop. I don't think I have one on my desk. If I have stickers around, they usually get stuck to random objects, so there's that. But yeah, so now I want to fix your 3D printer. We got my extruders clogged. There, 3DP maker, nutrition facts, bed leveling, slicing, modeling, caffeine, hardworking, sleep. I thought that was funny. This one I like too, just kind of a cool design, quality products, excellent service, cool filaments, small business. It's like hip, you know, it's what all the Zoomers like. Here, a little classy one, you know, little V-neck for the ladies. No place like V28. That's a classic. There we go. Another one here. This is on a Bella canvas. Is like a this. I think this is a unisex shirt. Yeah, it is. We do have like a sizing chart here. Here it is. I was like, it's somewhere on here. And then here, I have this one too. Did you level your bed? Did you? Did you though? Did you really? And then the snapback. I've got this one. This is the OG one. And then I added other colors and stuff here. To give you an idea, I've had this same hat for like 5 years. It holds up. I wear it a lot. I've worn it to events. It's gotten thrown around. They're really good quality. It's like a name brand. What is it? Yupong? It's name brand for snapbacks. Yeah, the Bellicam is really soft. Now, all these other ones, these are all Gildan. I like Gildan because they're comfortable, but they're also really damn durable. I'm a big fan of Gildan shirts. If you guys want just like a classic TH3D shirt, super simple. This one is making fun of Creality. I like took a picture of the side of their box and traced it out because instead of keep dry, it says afraid of wet. This one I got when I bought out my buddy's 3D printing company. He had this made. Spaghetti. Mom spaghetti. Here we go. Little Ender 3. So this is custom artwork. And then do you even benchy? There you go. And then here, I'm not fat. I'm over extruded. We got a lot. I didn't realize I had this many shirts. I found them. This is the, people in the groups. Hey, STL, you got the STL? Can I get the STL? You got the STL? Can you post the STL, bro? But instead of got milk, it's got STL. Same font they use for the got milk campaigns. This one, fun fact, was making fun of an employee I had here. And he kept having like a whole week where prints kept screwing up. So I whipped this up really quick and then I made it for him. And it's just been in the shop. So you guys may know him. His name's Matt. He also goes by Akuma Mods. So this shirt was made because he just was having one hell of a week where printers kept failing. There you go. Eat, sleep, 3D print, repeat. The evolution, 3D printing evolution. Just sitting there watching the printer like we all probably have done in the last 24 hours. Here we go. The vintage dad hat. So if you want something a little more classic instead of the snapback. And socks, because why not? They're actually really comfy. I have 3 pairs of them. So yeah. So there you go. Did you guys know we had fun shirts like that? I'm willing to bet most people did not know that. Did you guys know that? Where's it live with just Z? We're not Prusa. This why do like bots spam reviews on our website? Yeah, these are going to spam. Yeah, I gotta do a better job at promoting the shirts. Oh, okay. Well, while we're waiting here, I'm gonna see. Do I have to buy the LCD screen for this unit? Oh, I was like, what are we talking about? The easy out sensor kits. He's got a CRX. I'm going to link him to our CRX page. Mini cutout. While their customer service, I'm assuming you're talking about Prusa. The only advice that's the only advice they gave me for 2 years, and it didn't quite help. Yeah, so I had a Prusa Mark III, Mark 3S. It's something like that. I can't remember the exact one. It was a Mark III with the upgrades. I think it was MK3S. I sold it, and like I had issues with. Hang on. Um, I had issues with a firmware update where the drivers kept shutting down, and it took them like a week to get back to me. I sent them a ticket over email, and like they're just like, "Oh, you can try updating." I was like, "Well, I did update." Well, I found out there was a bug in the firmware, and I fixed it myself, but I'd fixed it before they got back to me. And it's like, this was a whole printer. It was a pre-built. We spent like $1,000 on it, and like their support wasn't great, but everybody's like, "Oh my god, their support's awesome." It's like, but it's really not. Like people freak out if we take like 2 days to respond. We typically respond within 1 business day. Now, if we're swamped, it can go up to 2 to 3 days, but typically we don't go past 2 days on average, like business days. So, because we're closed on the weekend, but like we get back to basically every day we end by like 2 o'clock. At the latest, we have no unassigned tickets. Basically, every ticket's gotten a response from either myself or Tor or whoever else we have helping out with tickets at the time. We get through stuff really fast. So, Bruno's asking, what direct extruder would you recommend when I build a new head for my SV06 Plus? I mean, I really like our Tough Extruder V2. It's a $50 dual gear extruder with the nano coating. It's really hard to beat. But if you want something even a little lighter, like the Sherpa Mini, Tor really likes the Sherpa Mini. We had the LDO Orbiter V2s; those were really nice, but those are all more expensive than ours. There's a lot of good extruders out there. Um, it really depends on what you're going for. Like, there's a reason we stock the stuff we do because I feel like it hits a really good price point for what you get. It may not be the best stuff, but it's a really good bang for the buck. So. I see Lightspeed's here. What's up, Lightspeed? Haven't seen you in a bit. Let's see, we have one person watching on Twitch. Hello, single person on Twitch. And apparently we can multi-stream too now on Twitch. They changed their policy on that. We had one like on Facebook. I just stream the Facebook to stream the Facebook. But like nobody watches. People do watch the replay, so I guess there's that. I just realized I've been working on this printer for almost 3 hours. Although we've been kind of hanging out for what, probably at least an hour of that. But yeah, I am probably going to wrap this up though, because I'm going to let this run. I'll get the input shaping test done tomorrow, and then I'll send the Benchy with you and any test prints so you can have them as a souvenir. I was also thinking about too, because like even though we sell Polymaker, we don't carry all their filaments. I was thinking about becoming a Polymaker affiliate too. So if you guys wanted to order directly from them, you could as well. Because at this point, I don't care where our revenue comes from, whether it's through affiliate or through direct sales. You know, I just want to keep doing the 3D printer stuff and, you know, making videos and putting out products. And however we get funded through that, I'm fine with it. Let's see, Polymaker affiliate program. Well, I guess I will sign up for that. I mean, I can get any of the Polymaker stuff. We are an official reseller. So the problem is they have so many filaments, it would be really hard for us to stock every single one. So like we carry like their basics because we use our we use their PLA and their ABS in our print farm. So we carry their PLA and ABS, and we have a couple other colors too that are more popular. So, yeah, this printer is going to be an expensive upgrade, but it's going to be great when we're done with it. I'm actually really excited to work on this. Yeah, I saw E3, the new extruder hot end combo. Tor was telling me about that. So the Hemera was like okay, but it was not that popular. And it was big too. Like when Big Tree Tech puts out a more compact extruder, that's saying something. Yeah, it was super heavy too. Yeah, so input shaping's not even on. It just like we actually showed this. I think it was on the 06 or the Plus, where we swapped the board to our board, and like we just got cleaner print results just going from the stock board with that knockoff processor on it to our board. Like I was shocked because at this point I'll take GD chips over some of the other ones, but like the STM chips just seem to print nicer. Don't know why. Just an observation. Yeah, Bruno. Okay, yeah, yeah. Like literally side by side, same G code. It came out cleaner. And actually, I've got the bottom of the other one here. So here, I can show you a partial. So this is the same G code. This one was printed with a stock board, and this one's obviously printing right now with the EasyBoard V2. So you can see those ripple lines there. They aren't present on this one. Let me see if I can show you here. It is cleaner. So it's been consistent. So this is like the third Stovall I've changed their board out for ours, and you get cleaner prints out of them. So it's got to be something to do with the timings of the processors and how it's processing shit. Because like it's been a consistent experience where we swap it for our board and the prints come out cleaner. So, and once we turn input shaping on, this bench will look really good. So, later, mine, let's take it easy. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap this up because it's almost midnight. I've been trying to get to bed before midnight. Oh, Eli, just get some rest. Stay hydrated. You'll be fine. I can't tell you how many times I've had it. I just don't care at this point anymore. I just get some rest. Yeah. So I'll let this finish. Tomorrow I'll come out here. I'll run an input shaping test, get it tuned in. So basically you can put this back together and have a working printer. So I'll get this box back up. I'm gonna have to modify the packaging to fit like the print head. But basically all you have to do to get this back is build it like normal, put the zip ties for the sensor cable and plug the sensor cable in, and you'll be good to go. I would definitely check your Z offset because it's probably gonna be slightly different when you get it back from when I packaged up, just from everything getting taken apart and put back together. So, but I can say you didn't do anything wrong on this for the record. Like you didn't screw the printer up. Your printer just had some things that were messed up on it. I mean, it's a Chinese printer, but the nice thing is now you got a well-tuned printer with a bunch of upgrades and you can just use it. So like I wouldn't mess with anything else on it. Just use it, print it, enjoy it. And I'll also send you my Prusa Slicer profile as well on your ticket. So anyways, I did one thing before. I saw somebody asking about our regular show. That is my fault. I haven't figured out what we're gonna do yet. We've been talking about it, and then I've just been working so much that it's been put on the back burner. So I've just been doing the random streams. I do still want to put together a show. I wanted to have it done by October, but it's now November, so we see how that went. I've been doing actually a lot of printer repairs. So I got this big sucker here. I'm probably not going to take any new ones until I finish this one up. So I actually had another Stovall at SV03 in here. That was a local guy that I did a repair. He was one of my buddies. And then, yeah, now another one. So All right. I will see you guys all next one. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. And as always, happy printing. I will see you guys later.